it is, it's Monday. It is December 4th, 10 after 11. Just completed a move out that I needed to take care of. I'm unbelievably warm today. My body temperature has been high the last couple of days, so I had to finally kick on the air conditioning here. Try and cool off a little bit. So it's like 77 degrees outside, which is nice for first week of December. It's supposed to be 80 degrees today. It's been a while, weeks I think, since I've recorded anything. It's been long enough that I can't remember when it was. Not really any reason behind it. I just haven't felt necessarily motivated to talk about anything. I've really just kind of been living my life a day at a time, doing the things that I feel like doing. And there hasn't really been any big changes. There hasn't been any big decisions. We're still leaning towards making this move later in the next year to New Zealand. We've informed the kids, but we haven't informed anybody else. No parents, no bosses. So that's still there, but it's a ways off, and there's not a lot that we can really focus on without sacrificing the present. And I've really been focused on that the last several weeks, just engaging in the moment and not wasting my time thinking about things that have already passed, and not really focusing too much time or energy on the future, just the now. And I feel pretty good about it. I've had my ups and downs. I've had some really upbeat days. I've had some days where I was just like, all right, I just don't want to do this right now. And but they've just kind of been free flowing, coming and going, and there hasn't been any feeling one way or another that's lingered or really been impactful for me for the last several weeks. I've been incorporating more exercise into my daily routine, and it's not a lot. It's very unstructured, which I'm liking. It's just, I'm just trying to do something physical, get my body moving on a daily basis in some form or another, get my heart rate up, focus on some type of a muscle group, and just do something. So it's been pretty much every day, and I've been trying to just keep it simple and do whatever I feel inspired to do. And it's been a lot of calisthenic type exercises, pull-ups and push-ups and sit-ups, and just a little bit here on the weights. Trying to monitor my step count and keep myself more active. Several weeks ago I talked about how my weight was creeping up, how I've really been indulging in my meals and really embracing that sage gourmand concept of celebrating life at every meal, and just really kind of running with that. But my weight was going up, and so I was starting to cut back. In the first couple of days I kind of limited my portion sizes, kind of reduced them down a little bit, and then I started cutting back on some of the higher calorie foods. And the first couple of days I felt pretty good. I felt light, I felt motivated, I felt energetic, and then I started to get the withdrawal symptoms, where I was just like, all right, I'm tired of eating cucumbers at lunch. I want something that's rich and satisfying and indulgent, and I wasn't eating desserts, I wasn't eating any kind, not that I have dessert on a regular basis anyway. It's still, on, maybe once a week, once every 2 weeks, I might have something that would be considered a sweet or considered a dessert. So, during that period, I was trying to cut back on higher calorie meats and focus more on chicken and shrimp, and my weight was still going up. It was starting to bother me, and I was starting to cut back a little bit more, trying to cut back more, and I started getting a little bit edgy and a little bit angry, and it had a little bit of a drop, a couple pounds, but it was very minimal, and then it kind of bounced right back up. But it was bothering me. I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not worth me being unhappy and feeling like I'm going without for no benefit. So I just decided kind of midweek last week that I want to eat what I want to eat, but I also want to be more active, and that was one of the things that I had really kind of let go. I was not as active as I wanted to be. I was not exercising my body. I was not being mobile, and that's one of the things I really felt like I was lacking on. So I've really made an effort to try and incorporate that into my everyday life and my routine, and I had a pretty indulgent weekend, but I had a pretty active weekend. My step counts I've been trying to get, it's been set at 6,000, but I actually went through the log on my phone to see, where I've been the last couple of months, and with the exception of when we were in Florida, when we traveled the last 2 trips, when we went for the NARPM conference in October, and we went for the wedding in August, I almost never hit 6,000 steps. Very rarely, 2 or 3 times maybe, and with the exception of those periods, I never hit 10,000 steps, which I'd really like to be in that 10,000 step a day range with a minimum of 6,000, but I've really been in a minimum of like 1,500, 2,000, and just on occasion hitting 6,000. So I had an active weekend. Even got to the point where I was just walking circles out on the back patio, laps, just to move, just to get myself mobile again, and an indulgent but active weekend, which is exactly what I set out to do end of the week last week. And I got on the scale this morning and I had no weight gain. It was a little bit of a shock, because Monday is usually, I tend to indulge more on the weekends anyway than I do the weekdays. I'm usually more restrictive during the weekdays, and come Monday I'm usually a couple pounds heavier than what I was tapering off toward the end of the previous week. But I held my ground, so it was just bolstered that whole concept, that whole idea that I can eat what I want, I can do whatever I want at my meal times, as long as I'm not gluttonous, and I can be active at the same time and maintain a balance. And that's really what it comes down to, is the balance. And I've really felt content with my life, with what I'm doing. I've got this chapter that'll be coming up in this Joe Vitale book here in a couple months, which I'm excited about. I've decided, after talking with Patrick, my speaking and writing coach, about the book my first book, and this move to New Zealand. He gave me some really positive feedback. He knows a lot of people in that country, and can set me up in kind of with some connections to pursue this career and lifestyle that I'm trying to pursue. This kind of traveling inspirational figure, and that's all great. And but I haven't really done a lot on my book, so it kind of gave me this tentative timeline to have mine done by April, so that we can get that printed. And then when we make the move, I've got my book published, and this published chapter in hopefully what it will be a best-selling book for Joe Vitale. And I sat down last Sunday for the first time in months and worked on my book, and it just kind of came. Just sat down, read through some of the previous chapters, read through some of the chapter titles, picked up the next chapter that was in the sequence, and started writing, and it just was flowing, and I felt very satisfied and accomplished with that. And it's just, I feel very positive moving forward into all this. Like I said, I've had some down days where I'm just like, I don't want to do anything, I don't want to be anything, I just want to be cut off and not engage. And for the most part, I've tried to weather that storm and kind of withdraw when needed and make myself happier. And that's ironically the chapter that I'm working on my book is called The Pursuit of Happiness, or Pursuing Happiness. And it was fitting for where I am right now in my path, what I've done so far and what I'm doing now, what my plans are, that I'm working on this chapter at the same time, and it just makes it easier, and it definitely feels more heartfelt when I'm writing about it. I'm not writing from the memory of something, I'm actually conveying my current state of mind and my thought in my pursuit of generating a happier life.